And we are live. Are we trying this again? Well, we'll try this again. I think I fixed the problem with my microphone. So I'm just going to put that there, point it at me. Hopefully you can all hear me now. This is Toronto Stevie Live. It certainly looks like Neil Jackie Jones is not going to have it in your head this week. So I thought I would do a review of WrestleMania and the Raw report. Breaking news actually before we begin all this was the passing of Steve Mongo McMichael. He has passed away. He was going to go into hospice care, but he has passed away. So let's get to night one of WrestleMania. The opening match, first Paul Levesque, Triple H welcomes you to WrestleMania. The opening match is for the World Heavyweight title. Gunther taking on Jey Uso. I'm really a big fan of Gunther, with a good heel champion. But and he had already beaten Jey Uso once, and now he was there's gonna be Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble, and now he got this opening match, not a main event match, but an opening match, and he actually he hit the Uso splash, and then he put Gunther into the sleeper hold. Gunther tapped out. Winner and new champion Jey Uso. He celebrated in the ring with his brother Jimmy Uso. As I was saying, and when I tried to do this the first time around, I think that all this yeeting and celebrating is going to be short-lived before the crowd turns on Jey Uso, and I think there's going to be a whole bunch of challengers lining up to face him. We'll get to that later, but now we've got video packages followed by the WWE World Tag Team Championship match. The War Raiders defending the titles against the New Day. The New Day, they've won a lot of tag team titles, and they hit their finishing move on one of the War Raiders, and they win the match and they get another title. So they are the new tag team champions. Good move. Put them again. Two matches, two titles. The third match was Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I was not a big fan of this whole angle where Jade gets dropped onto the windshield of a car. She's out. She comes back. She basically beats up Naomi in the Elimination Chamber. I think she beat up Naomi one more time. Naomi then got the upper hand in 1 week, and finally builds to this WrestleMania match. But Jade, there was no mystery here. Jade hit the Jaded on Naomi and pinned her 1, 2, 3 clean in the ring. Winner of the match, Jade Cargill. After that, then we get the United States Championship match. LA Knight defending the title against Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu on SmackDown has the rocket strapped to him. It's not surprising that he hit his moonsault and won the United States title from LA Knight. I thought this was definitely the right move. Put the rocket on Jacob Fatu. See how far he can go with the title. So then there was this spectacular entrance for the greatest luchador that ever lived, El Grande Americano. El Grande Americano. So, if you were watching SmackDown, you saw that Rey Mysterio suffered an injury and he was unable to compete at WrestleMania. So taking his place was Rey Fenix. So you had El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix. El Grande Americano loaded up the mask with a foreign object, hit a flying headbutt from the top rope, and he pinned Rey Fenix. So this whole storyline continues. We get next up was the Women's World Title match. It was Tiffany Stratton defending the title against Charlotte Flair. Charlotte's won so many titles, she really doesn't need to win another one. So Tiffany hit her prettiest moonsault ever to win the match and retain the title. This was the right move. Tiffany represents the future of the women's division, and I think she should probably keep this belt for quite a long time. We get some video packages, and then the main event of night one, CM Punk, after a long time, gets his WrestleMania main event, the last match of the night. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. You know, in your head last week, I was saying it would be kind of nice if Punk, send the fans home happily with Punk winning the match. I speculated at the time, well, what if Heyman turns on Punk and Roman and goes with Rollins? Sure enough, that's exactly how WWE felt, exactly the same way. The finish came when Heyman had a chair in his hand, and he's debating what to do with it. He tosses it to CM Punk, gets in the ring. Punk picks up the chair, but Heyman does a Ric Flair low blow job between the legs, and Reigns actually is smiling. He thinks that the wise man was basically going to side with him, but as it turns out, Heyman turned. He pointed at Rollins, and Reigns basically pushes Heyman out of the way, and he remembers when Rollins did the same thing to him, and he's going to hit Rollins with the chair, but Heyman does the Ric Flair low blow on Reigns, and basically reveals that he is actually turning on both guys, Reigns and Punk. Rollins whacks both guys with the chair. He hits curb stomps, and he pins Roman Reigns to win the match. It was weird. Both nights of night one of WrestleMania with the heel going over. So I thought, the heel goes over on night one of WrestleMania. Am I assuming then that John Cena is going to lose to Cody Rhodes, and they're going to send the fans home happy on night two of WrestleMania with Cody retaining his title? Well, we'll see about that. So, night two of WrestleMania. Stephanie McMahon opens up WrestleMania, welcoming everybody. We start with the Women's World Championship match, triple threat, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. I will give WWE credit. They have done a great job putting Io Sky over, making her a big deal, and I was surprised at the outcome of this match. You have two big stars, Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, and neither one of them won the match. Io Sky retains. So Bianca hits the KOD on Io Sky. She goes to pin her, but Rhea Ripley broke it up, and I think this eventually Bianca hit the KOD on Rhea Ripley, but Io Sky hit an over the moonsault on Bianca Belair and pinned her to retain the title. This was a very good match. I will give these girls credit. They put on one hell of a match. And so you really needed a cool down match after this, and it was the Sin City Street Fight, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. And the funniest part about this whole match, I think Drew McIntyre took a camera from somebody at ringside and took a selfie and put it on the internet. But Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore kick and wins the match, so he gets his WrestleMania moment. Right guy won here. I thought Drew McIntyre was about time that he won a match. We get the Intercontinental Championship match, Fatal 4-Way, another multi-person match. Penta El Zero Miedo versus Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor versus the Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker. I thought the wrong guy won here. I thought they were going to put the belt on Penta, or they were going to have Braun Breaker retain the title, but no. I think the way this one goes, I think Balor hits Breaker with a sling blade. He hits the coup de grace on Braun Breaker, goes for the pin, but at the same time, Dominic Mysterio hits a frog splash on Finn Balor and pins him. Winner and new Intercontinental Champion, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. This one surprised me. If you look at all four guys in the ring, Dirty Dom would be the guy I thought was definitely not going to win the match, but that was not true. So if you saw SmackDown on Friday, then you saw Kevin Owens gave a speech basically saying he had to have neck surgery and he was not going to be able to take on Randy Orton at WrestleMania. So Randy Orton holds an open title, an open challenge. Who is going to accept it? Well, say his name and he appears. TNA World Heavyweight Champion Joe Hendry appears. They have a very short match. Randy Orton hits the RKO and pins Joe Hendry. Now, I suppose they're going to try and play this up on TNA Wrestling tomorrow night. Some people have said that they buried TNA, they buried Joe Hendry. Well, we'll see whether or not that comes to pass. Next up, Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. This one had Karrion Kross at ringside, and had one of Logan Paul's toadies tried to give Logan Paul some brass knucks, but Karrion Kross intercepted him, and he gave the brass knuckles to AJ Styles, and Karrion Kross wanted AJ to hit Logan Paul with the brass knucks, but AJ said no. He threw them away, got back in the ring, but he ran into the Logan Paul's pulverizer. I still can't say that finishing move. Anyway, Logan Paul wins the match and gets his WrestleMania moment. I think he's undefeated at WrestleMania. I'm not really sure about that. Next up, we get the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending the title against the Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria. And there was another angle where Bayley got hurt, and so Lyra had to get a new tag team partner, so she chose Becky Lynch. And surprise, surprise, Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria win the match, and they are the new Women's Tag Team champions. I'll have more to say about this later. We get Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out in an ATV. He smashes into the ring, into the barricade, knocking someone over. He checked on whoever fell over, so I think this might have been not supposed to happen. Right in front of the undisputed WWE Championship match, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. And I really thought Cody was going over here. Night 2 of WrestleMania, send the fans home happy, but no. So, the finish comes when some guy named Travis Scott, who I still have no clue who this guy is, but nonetheless, he comes down to the ring. Cody Rhodes hit the crossroads on John Cena, went to pin him. The referee starts to count, but Travis Scott pulled him out of the ring. He gets into the ring, but Cody grabs him, gives him the crossroads, payback for that ridiculous punch that that Travis Scott hit on Cody a while back. And then John Cena grabs the the WWE title belt. He goes to try and hit Cody with it, but Cody blocked it. And he took the belt away. And that's when John Cena basically kicked him in the balls, took the belt, smacked him in the head. Referee recovers, climbs back into the ring. 1, 2, 3. And Cody Rhodes loses the title to John Cena. Heels won both nights of WrestleMania. This one was a surprise that the heels would win the match. Wonderful. Jonathan Jackson. There we go. And now we got sound. Thank you, Jonathan. Yes, I was messing around with this for so long that I finally figured out how my audio works. So going forward, you can hear me. That's good. Okay. Now, as I was saying, 2 nights of WrestleMania, heels go over both nights. Who predicted that? Did anybody predict that? I think there'd be a lot of people saying I got that wrong. So, the following night, Las Vegas hosts Monday Night Raw. We get the pre-show arrivals. John Cena comes out. He gives a long-winded speech. I won't go over this all over again. When I messed up the first time, I tried to summarize all of this. But basically, Cena cuts another kind of lame heel promo on the crowd. And just when he's about to finish, the crowd finally comes alive with some excitement. And you see this somebody coming up behind John Cena. And right away you realize it's Randy Orton. So Randy Orton, John Cena turns around and basically Randy Orton gives John Cena an RKO. He grabs the world title belt, the WWE title belt, holds it up, and so it certainly seems on SmackDown that that's the next program. I'm not sure whether they'll probably keep the belt on John Cena, building to a rematch with Cody Rhodes later on in the year. So that's to be continued. So we get the Women's World Tag Team title match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez immediately get their rematch against Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. Now, I'm not a fan of, as I was saying, I'm not a fan of 24-hour turnarounds. I'm not a fan of 48-hour turnarounds because the way this match ended, Lyra Valkyria knocks Raquel Rodriguez off the ring apron. Raquel Rodriguez flies into Becky Lynch, knocking both of them to the ring floor. Then Lyra turns around just in time for Liv Morgan to hit the Oblivion. She pins her, and the heels basically regain the tag team titles 48 hours after they lost them. And so what's Jonathan saying here? Travis Scott made WrestleMania the greatest ever, according to Lexar. Yes. I don't know. I was thinking, actually what I said on Twitter afterwards was that should have been The Rock's involvement in WrestleMania, but The Rock went on a show and basically said he didn't want to be involved in WrestleMania, that he was done. I thought, well, if The Rock wasn't going to do this, then John Cena should have just done his own cheating without any involvement from anybody else. And now Jonathan came back with Cena versus Orton for the 100th time, more like 1,000th time. Anyway, yes, they're building towards another Cena versus Orton match. I know they did a whole ton of them before, but it certainly looks like we're going to get another one. And so, Becky Lynch, so what Becky did was she gets back into the ring, and you could see this coming from a mile away. Even when she was on the floor, just the way she was looking up at Lyra Valkyria, the way Lyra was overselling, "Oh, Becky, I'm sorry for what I did. I screwed up." Becky kind of picks up Lyra, and then she gives her 2 manhandle slams, and she's got the crowd on her. So the crowd are just love this. And she goes to leave. The crowd is yelling, one more time, and Becky obliges, gets back in the ring, and she gives her a 3rd manhandle slam before she leaves. So it certainly looks like, now I thought that Becky Lynch was, I thought that she was going to retire, that she was leaving wrestling, but I guess not. I guess she's sticking around for a little bit longer. So now you have the New Day celebrating their championship victory at WrestleMania, and you thought this was going to be some kind of championship celebration. But then the Alpha Academy come out, Maxine Dupree, Otis, and Tozawa, and basically Maxine challenges the New Day to a tag team title match. Xavier Woods said no, but then Kofi said yes, get a referee. So a referee comes down to the ring, and you think that a tag team title match is going to happen, but no. The lights go out, and on the Titantron, you just see the name Rusev. And Rusev returns. He comes down to the ring, and so the heels took a powder. The New Day just immediately got out of the ring, and Rusev just basically destroyed Tozawa and Otis. He put the accolade on Otis and made his return. And I had said earlier that I certainly hope, you'll notice that Lana was not with him, and so I certainly hope that they take this return seriously, that we don't see goofy Rusev in comedy segments. We hope he's like when Kurt Angle came back, transition from goofy Kurt Angle to serious Kurt Angle. I certainly hope they do the same thing with Rusev. I don't want to see goofy Rusev doing comedy again. So now, after Rusev left, then we get a backstage segment. Dirty Dom, Finn Balor, none too pleased that Dirty Dom is now the Intercontinental Champion. We get Io Sky celebrating her WrestleMania victory when she's interrupted by the NXT Women's Champion Stephanie Vaquer. And the girls want a champion versus champion non-title match. So Adam Pearce comes out and makes the match. This one was pretty good too. These 2 champions wrestling each other. But near the end of the match, there was interference by Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez attacked Io Sky, and then Julia comes into the ring, and she joins Roxanne Perez, and they basically beat up the babyfaces. But making the save is Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley comes down, she clears the ring. The heels take a powder, and even Stephanie Vaquer took a powder, leaving Io Sky and Rhea Ripley in the ring. And basically, I think she picked up Io Sky, picked up the belt, gave the belt back to Io Sky, but then basically told her, I'm going to come in for this title. So maybe this sets up the post-WrestleMania matchup, Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley. Coming back from the commercial break, Jey Uso celebrates in the ring. As he's yeeting away, Sami Zayn comes down to the ring. There's a Sami Uso chant. He's got a microphone. He basically says he's proud of Jey Uso. You're my dog, you're my brother. And speaking of brother, Jimmy Uso comes down to the ring. And you have just basically baby faces celebrating in the ring. So you have a woman named Jackie and everyone's favorite backstage interviewer Kathy Kelly interviewing both AJ Styles and Logan Paul. Coming back from the commercial break, then this is where so coming back from the commercial break, Gunther is basically yelling at Michael Cole, and I actually rewound this to say, did I miss something? No, I didn't. So Michael Cole basically is trying to defend himself, and he basically says, hey, you tapped out, you know. So Gunther tries to put the sleeper hold on Michael Cole, but Pat McAfee kind of saves him. And then, like a dumb baby face that Pat McAfee is, he turns his back on Gunther. Gunther comes up behind him, puts the sleeper hold on Pat McAfee. And then Adam Pearce and a whole bunch of producers and security and referees come down to the ring. But Gunther keeps the sleeper hold on Pat McAfee. And eventually everybody pulls Gunther off. Coming back from the commercial break, Gunther, Pat McAfee, and Michael Cole are in the trainer's room. Pat McAfee is getting looked at, and Michael Cole makes his way back to ringside. Joe Tessitore is waiting for him, and they call the next match. Dirty Dominic Mysterio defending the Intercontinental title against Penta El Cerro Miedo. Making his return was JD McDonough. So Carlito interrupts, or he distracts the referee. JD McDonough. Penta is on the top rope, and JD McDonough knocks him off. Basically allows Dominic to hit the frog splash on Penta, and Penta suffers his first defeat in WWE to Dominic Mysterio, and the heels basically are standing tall after this one. So then the main event segment was not a match. It was actually Seth Rollins coming down to the ring, basically celebrating his WrestleMania victory with Paul Heyman. And he's basically going on and on when CM Punk's music hits. CM Punk runs down to the ring. These guys get into a brawl, but I think Rollins got the upper hand, hit a stomp on Punk, and that's when the crowd starts yelling, "We want Roman." So Roman Reigns' music hits, and he comes running down to the ring, and he gets into a fight with Seth Rollins. But they have a fight, and I think Reigns went for a spear, but before he could hit it on Rollins, a mystery person wearing a black hoodie basically spears Reigns, takes off the hoodie, and reveals his identity to be Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker basically spears Punk, speared Reigns. I think Rollins hit curb stomps on both Punk and Reigns. So you basically have Braun Breaker announced or introduced as the latest Paul Heyman guy, and that's how Raw went off the air. So it certainly seems like Reigns, who's on SmackDown, I don't know if he can get any revenge on Rollins unless one of these guys moves over to the other show, and which would make the most sense, I guess, would be Reigns moving over to Raw in the supposed draft, if they have a draft, or who knows. Anyway, but Braun Breaker as the new Paul Heyman guy, I kind of like that, because I think the guy to defeat Jey Uso for that title should be Braun Breaker. I think it would be the right move to make. Build it up. Doesn't have to happen right away, but later this year, I'm predicting, fearless prediction, that Braun Breaker will be wearing the World Heavyweight Championship. I hope it's not too fast, too soon, but this is what I think. Well, I certainly hope that you can hear me now. So this is me signing off after the Raw report. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you again next week, or at the next Toronto Stevie Live. Remember, In Your Head Wrestling Radio, Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. I'm Toronto Stevie Live, If you like my political stuff, I do political news as well. If you just want the wrestling, well, there's In Your Head. So good night, everybody, and I'll see you all later.